Thank you, Benji. Thank you to everyone who made it out. I know with the Christmas season around, the holiday time, people traveling, end of the year, some people being sick. Those who are here, thank you so much. Our legislators that are here, our justices, we thank you. For those who have not been impacted by this issue personally that are here, thank you as well. And I really want to say thank you to Mike and Elizabeth McNeese. That's right. We'll hear from them in just a moment. Met Mike and Elizabeth online about several years ago, I believe. There was a post, there was a comment that Elizabeth made. We became Facebook friends, and then she and Mike drove down to Texas, interviewed different people from Texas, throughout the states, actually, various places. But that's how we first met Mike and Elizabeth. I think before we talk with Mike and Elizabeth, though, I want to talk a little bit about my own journey in this family court industry. This, what I would call corrupt family court industry. When I went through it, it was going through a unilateral no-fault divorce. What do I mean by that? No-fault divorce, I think, generally speaking, is a lie. Everybody knows that there's always fault in a no-fault divorce. So the first step in filing for that is basically perjury. But when it comes right down to it, the unilateral aspect means you can do nothing to save your marriage. Many law firms will tell you this. If somebody files for the divorce, they always get it. There is no defense. And yet our Constitution says that there should be a remedy for everything at law. And there is no remedy for an issue like no-fault divorce. When I first went through this, I remember reading Stephen Baskerville, this book, Taken into Custody, and I could not read more than a couple of pages at a time, because he was talking about the industry, and I'm like, that's what I'm going through. And it was confirmatory, but it was also shocking to see what takes place in our courts. And then I started to meet other people, and they started talking to me about what happens with parenting issues, how, generally speaking, a parent gets erased or minimalized from a child's life or their whole children's life. Good parents can't see their children. My stepfather has not been able to see his son for 40 years, has reached out. The son was brainwashed by his mother, tried to make it sound like he was a terrible person, never missed a child support payment, didn't do anything like that, anything bad at all, just wanted to have a relationship with his children. 40 years, even after the mother is dead, he still won't have a relationship. And the story, that story is his story, but it's also the story of many people here in Texas. So as far as my kids were concerned, when the divorce took place, I was very disappointed with the church. The church should be standing for marriage. If you're a Christian, if you're not a Christian, that's fine, but if you're a Christian, Jesus taught, and in the Old Testament, God taught that God hates divorce, and the permanency of marriage is very important. So I took a religious vow when I got married, and the state thought somehow my religious vow was worthless. And it created difficulties with my children for a number of years. A couple of things here as well, and then I'll get to Mike and Elizabeth. I sometimes bring these with me. I knew I wanted to change the laws about no-fault divorce, but then I found out afterwards that I had perjury committed against me, and I could not see my grandchildren because of a CPS action that I did not do, that I was fraudulently accused of. Prior to that, I was babysitting my grandchildren 5 times a week sometimes, 3 typically. These are still diapers that I have. This cap right here is Gideon's cap when he came out of the hospital. I just saw them a week ago for the first time in 8.5 years. They don't even know who I am. And it's such a shame. And Texas has permitted this with CPS and with other things, and they also permit this and actually facilitate this in our family courts. And that's why we're here.